Hey everybody, welcome back for Wooblin Wednesday. Wooblin Wednesday, we started this last week. Myself and two of my yarny sisters, Rainy over at the Woolly Llama Shop and Patricia over at the Yarny Cat Crochet. We had decided, since we were doing little quick, kind of what you would want to call a palette cleanser, little projects, to kind of give us a little boost of instant gratification that we're completing a project, because a lot of us work on very large projects like blankets or very detailed amigurumi, etc. And so as of late, we had recently started doing some of the Woobles kits and having a lot of fun. And from the response that I have gotten, several of you are as well and having fun with them. And you use them as little palette cleansers while you're doing larger projects too, to get that little boost, that endorphin rush that you completed a project. And we decided that since we were doing some of the Woobles kits, we would start coming on and talking to you about them. And depending on how many we had, if we had several in the lineup, we would let you guys vote as to which ones we would do next, or just talk about the ones we're doing. But we also decided, because we do have some other kits that are not Woobles, but there are small um crochet kits found at like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, online at Amazon. Some people are getting them from Timu, things like that. And those absolutely do count. But if we are showing you a Woobles kit, what we are trying to do, if you're not wanting to go get the kit and do it, we are trying to find something similar that is a very small make that you could make if you so chose. That is one of those little projects that'll give you one of those little endorphin rushes that you completed something, while you're still working on the large projects. And we've been having fun with it, and we know some of you are having fun with it. And so we decided we were going to do that. Plus, we have the Woobles Amigurumi book, and the what is the second one called? I have so much stuff over here. Um, it is called Amigurumi Critters, 25 imaginative crochet designs for all skill levels. This was the other book that is not Woobles, but some of them are Woobles like. And so we thought we could have a little bit of fun with this as well. And if you don't have the book and you don't want to purchase the book, which the book is very inexpensive, um, we have the information for the books and the Woobles yarn, the easy peasy yarn, as well as the Wooble dupes yarn from like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, or I know it's available on Amazon as well, etc., that are not Woobles, etc. It's just a little cheaper, but the balls, I don't know how they compare with yardage. There, a lot of them are very different. So by the time some of them that are smaller, you figure up the yardage and you're still going to pay the same price as if you had bought the Woobles Easy Peasy yarn. So, and it is fun to work with. Buying the Woobles was the first time I ever worked with the tube yarn that I can even remember. And I'm finding it pretty enjoyable, actually. And they're super cute. We've already made Luna the Bat, Andy the Owl, and Maisey the Candy Corn. And I had showed you kits last week for Steve the Frankenstein, Snooky the Ghost, and Salem the Cat. And Salem, actually, I had several of the little packs of accessory packs for Salem to be a witchy kitty. And I had told you guys I would go in and do a little look see after about the first 24 hours ish. and see which one was having the most votes. And Salem was winning by a landslide. So I went ahead and I started Salem, and we did finish her. And I thought about tacking her tail, but then I was like, no, no, it helps her sit. I think she's super cute. I did make a change with the ears. I did them in little triangles rather than cones because I didn't like the way the cone kind of was looking for her being a kitty cat. And so I think she turned out darling anyway. I think she's adorable. I kind of want to make her in black, Salem, a witch kitty. So, and we did work on her accessories. So if you remember correctly, and let me pull them out, I have a little box here. This was Salem's pack, and I think I left my hook out next to my chair because I was actually using it on another project. I'm almost positive I was. Yeah. So I really do love the Woobles hooks. I've got Maisey and Luna's right here on my desk from where we talked about them in the last week. And I think, yes, I have Andy's over here as well, even though his is not the character cute ones. So this was Salem, and I ordered her from the Woobles site. And they had a special deal with you could get, it was a deal with several of the witchy accessories. There was the tiny witch cloak and the tiny witch broom, and then the tiny witch hat. So that dressed her up right there. And then they had a couple of other things on there that I thought went really well. One of which was this little tiny trick or treat bag pumpkin. So I went ahead and got that for her to go with her accessories. And then they also had a little tiny cauldron. So did I get all the accessories done? Oh, Salem's trying to run off. She's got to come here. So I'll put these back in Salem's bag. So here's Salem. And then the first accessory that we showed was the little witch cloak. And I chose not to do this one in the orange yarn that came with it. I wanted her, because she's purple, and I want her to look witchy. So I did her little cloak in black. Even though, if you guys have been around a while, you guys know I have visual issues like crazy due to the MS. I see 2 and 3 of everything. Sometimes I'm blurry all the time, and sometimes I see things move that don't move, like trees walking across the street and stuff that I know are not, but that's how my eyes relay the message to my brain. So I did her little cloak, and I did an extra row on the cloak because I wanted it a little bit longer for her. So there was that. And then the witch hat. So I chose not to do the witch hat in orange either. Yeah. So we have 2 of these orange ones because I didn't do that. I chose to do her witchy hat in black, but I changed it up a little bit because let me find it. Once I got to, I did an extra row. See where the hat band is black? I did 2 rows instead of 1. And then this one, it kind of curls I did increases so that it flattened out and did an extra row. So this is the one that they give you the pattern for when you get the little accessory. And this one is mine. So I did it in the black. Like I said, I added a second row for the hat band. And then I just did increases all the way around so that it flattened out. And I wanted it to be purple because she is. And I wanted it black, you know, because it's witchy and it matches her cloak. And then I used some leftover yellow that I had from Maisey. And I just um, did some little stitches to make it look like a little buckle on her hat. So here is her little witch hat right there. Ooh. I think she is adorable. And then, of course, you know, because she is a witch, you have to have the little broom. I think it's super cute. She is too much, I'm telling you. I love her. But then, yes, wait, there is more. I did do the little witchy cauldron. I did change a little bit on the handles because you guys know I'm all about going rogue and changing things up. But I'm also going to use some of that green because there is still enough left that I can make like little bubbles coming out of the cauldron. I want to do that. So our little Salem the witch, she has her little cauldron. Let me see if I can get them all in one hand. And here's her little cauldron, her little broom, and and her little trick-or-treat bag pumpkin for trick-or-treating. Isn't she just too much? I think she is adorable. So I got all, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces in Salem done last week. And I went online and tried to find a little roly-poly kitty pattern that is free online, and I will link that in the description box if you wanted to try and make something similar. There are little witchy hats all over. I could not find anything like this. You know what this reminds me of? Oop. It reminds me of the little plastic pumpkins that you find in the store. And I had these in the bag, so they're kind of a little wonky. I should have taken them out. It would probably fit about 5 candy corns. I did change up the face a little bit because, yeah, I liked it better this way. So there was that. And I couldn't find a little witch broom, but it's kind of like some chains, and then you cut some strands that are about, I think it was 12 inches or 8 inches or something, and then you loop them through and then tie around and tie it off and then weave in the end for the broom. And then there are some cauldron patterns online, but nothing this small. But if you've ever done Amis and you can do a basic shaping, like you're going to do a round head, and then just flatten it out and do a little centerpiece and sew it in and make little handles, you can do a little cauldron. Super simple, but yes. And for the cape, you could probably do a little rectangle where, and just do some increases on the ends for a few rows. And then you just chain across and attach. But yeah, so I did find a little roly-poly kitty. It's not exactly the same. It looks kind of similar, but I will link it in the description box if you want to try and make a little Salem. So then once I got her done, amongst all the other projects I've got going on, I tried to start my next one I wanted to do was Snooky, the ghost. And I ran into a snag. I did. I ran into a snag. It seems there was a problem with the kit. Here's Snooky. And Snooky is in glow in the dark yarn. And this is one of the kits from Walmart. Well, I didn't get all the way through. I think it's round 15. And then there's, is it 3 more rounds to go? I have like 65 more stitches, I think, to do. 60 or 65. This is all the yarn I have left. There is not enough to finish her and sew her up once you get her face on and stuffed. So I did email the team Woobles and reached out, as they put it, with a yarn emergency. And they did respond. I think it was the next day. It was very quick response. And because I emailed that evening, and of course, you know, offices are closed and stuff like that that late when I was working on her. Um, and they did respond back, and I needed to send them some information, like a picture of where I'm at, how much yarn was left, and where I purchased my kit. Um, and the super top secret code that you have to put in to get the pattern on their website. So I sent all that information in, and they, I think it was Ariana, she responded very quickly. And her response was that they are sending out replacement yarn. So do not fret, my yarn emergency is being taken care of. It just may take some time for it to get here. So unfortunately, Snooky will not be done before Halloween, but that's okay. I can finish her when it gets here, and she will just be ready to go, sitting on my shelf for next Halloween. Um, so yeah, so we didn't get Snooky done. Um, and I think I left, no, there's her hook. Here's her hook. It's so stinking cute. It says, that says Woobles on that side, with all these little pictures of Snooky. And then this side says Stitch Buster. And she definitely was. And I thought it was a me problem when I was first working it up. I frogged her 3 times, only to come to the realization it was not a me thing. It was the fact that there was not enough yarn in my package. So they are remedying my situation. And once it gets here, I will show you what the remedy was, because I'm unsure. I don't know if it's going to be a smidgy bit that they guesstimate on how much yarn I'll need to close her up, or if it's a ball, or I don't know, but I will go. But so far, I'm going to take, I have to say, their customer service is 5 stars. So I'm going to go with it, and I will continue to update you on the Snooky situation. Yeah. And hopefully it comes soon, because I do want to finish her, because I know she's adorable. And so with all of that, and I was trying to finish my project for Laura over at Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming, her What's in a Name cow. I did not get to Steve yet. Steve is all in here. So maybe I'll work on him a little tonight. Here's his hook. It says Woobles, and it's got little tombstones and him. And then on the back, it says, need a hand. And look at the little bat. These are super cute. I love these little collector hooks. So yes, so hopefully we will get to working on Steve this evening, and hopefully the yarn emergency will be remedied very quickly, and we can get to another kit. So there's Salem again with her little witchy cauldron. her little broom, because you guys know I love me some kitties, and her little pumpkin trick-or-treat bucket. So we're going to put her on the shelf right there. You can see her. Maybe we'll have to move something around and put her over here where you can see her, and then I'll put her accessories with her. So one little other piece of business with the Wooblin Wednesday. I don't know if any of you guys know, which I'm sure you do. As far as the Woobles, they have collaborated a little bit with McDonald's, not for Happy Meals, unfortunately, because I would be all about, even though I don't really eat there, I would just go buy the Happy Meal for it. But they're doing the McDonald's Monopoly like they do every year. And they have two ways you can win something woobly. One of them is a tier perk. I think it's once you get 4 or 5 properties, you jump up a tier. So for every 4 or 5 properties, you gain a tier. And once you get to tier 4, you win a mystery accessory pack, and it comes with a mystery tin. So, but you have to, when you go in with the coupon code that they send you, once you reach tier 4, you have to have, I think it's a $30 purchase to be able to redeem it. But one of the other ways, they have a kit, which is Pierre in the red, and he's holding a little McDonald's soft drink. And that's a kit, but that has to be won in the bonus spins. Now, yes, I've been playing. Yes, I put in all those properties to get up to tier 4. I've passed tier 4. However, that don't mean Brian and I have to go keep eating McDonald's, because you can also play for free. You just have to go in and request game codes. And for every request, they'll send you 2 game codes. And you can do that. I think they'll send you up to 5 a day that are valid. It just depends on how quick they get them, because there's a lot of people doing it. And so I think you can only enter in up to 10 a day of those codes. But you have to be careful, because if it comes in your email and you can't use it today because you got enough codes in, you can't use that code tomorrow. So yeah, so there's kind of a caveat. But every time you put in for a game piece to add to your board or win free food, I can't tell you how much free food that I've won, and I doubt that we ever go redeem any of it. Cones and McChickens and double cheeseburgers, and I've won some coffee though. And I think I've won a frappe, some apple pies, some breakfast sandwiches. And I drove by the McDonald's out of town today because I had 2 appointments this morning. I went by there multiple times this morning, going back and forth, and I did not stop and redeem anything. I came home. But every game piece code that you enter, whether it's a physical game piece off of food, wrappers, like the fries, the drink, certain sandwiches, you get a bonus spin. And that is how you would win the red Pierre. I would love to win the red Pierre, but if I can't win the red Pierre, I can always make a Pierre in red, put the little McDonald's insignia on his belly, and freehand a little drink cup. But it would be fun to win that limited edition McDonald's Pierre. So going back to the tier 4 surprise accessory pack, it got delivered today. And that was super fast. Super fast. So, I did have to make an order to be able to redeem it, which was fine because I was scoping out a couple things. And this came in, it was really weird. It came in a white package. It didn't come in the normal woobly blue. So, what did so the first thing, because you guys know I love Snoopy. So I did Snoopy, and we will open him up later and go through him. And it was a special deal with the accessory kit for him to be the Flying Ace Red Baron. So I did get the special deal where you got the accessory for him to be the Red Baron. Isn't that so cute? So we will be doing Snoopy at some point. And then they have these super cool, you guys know I love aliens, because Allie Ann sits back here. She only talks to me. She's shy. And she's got a lot to say when the camera goes off. Yeah, for sure. And they have these aliens that are some of the limited edition. And I kept looking at this one and I'm like, oh, it is so stinking cute. I want her. I would change her head though, the things on her head. But it is Wibbet the Neptunian. And she is glow in the dark. So I had to. And her little accessory is, of course, Neptune. And it glows in the dark, the little tiny planet. So, you guys want to open it and see? Let's see. So, we'll just go ahead. Why not? And let's open it up. And here's her little hook. It says Woobles. And it's got her little alien, little planets, a little rocket. And then the backside doesn't say anything, but it's got more pictures of her. Isn't that super cute? And it's purple. Come on. And of course, her flying saucers in purple and white. Because right there. So there's her saucer. And then you've got her stuffing, because you know what's inside is what counts. And her little woobly bits. I'm going to change those nubbies on her head, though. I might give her, I don't know if I'll give her buns or antennas, maybe. And then the glow-in-the-dark yarn right there. So she is going to be so stinking cute. I think she's adorable. And let's put that in there. And these, so I don't lose them. And then her little planet, which will be the orange and the neon fluorescent glow in the dark green. So put that over here. And then of course we have Snoopy. Let's open him up. And if I can get it. Okay, so here is Snoopy and his wee woobly bits right there. Look at that smile. And we've got the black. It's even got a Peanuts comic strip on it. And it says the Peanuts. You guys, if you've been here long enough, you've heard me tell the story about my Snoopy that went over the falls out of the canoe when I was fishing with my grandpa and my dad when I was little. And we couldn't save him. So I had to get Snoopy. You got a little bit of red. which is his collar. And then, of course, you have the white, and it's more of the Peanuts labeled yarn with the little comic strip. And his stuffing, because it's what's on the inside that counts. And then you've got the Woobles Peanuts hook. Look at him. Isn't he adorable? He is so stinking cute. I love me some Snoopy. So, yeah. Okay. Let's put this back in here. And then we have his Flying Ace Red Baron attire. And then eventually I'll probably get Woodstock to go with Snoopy. So, and now let's open this surprise pack, because it came in a separate package. And, oop, and I'm trying to, so we've got, okay, so the tin, the surprise tin, and this one's a slot, no, is it a slider? It is a slider. The other ones are like a Secrets cough drop box where they flip open. This one is actually a slider. And it's got Andy on the front that we just did last week. There's Andy. Andy the owl. And it says, look who hoot it is. And then the back of it says Woobles. Okay. So there was our mystery tin. And then the Woobles charm bracelet kit. You're my kind of snack. And this is a McDonald's. This is only for the Monopoly thing. So, okay. It says pull to start Wooblin. Oh, okay. They made it easy. So what is in here? So we've got, and the sticker stuck. Okay, so this comes with a different kind of hook. It says Woobles on this side and Charmer. And this is an 8.0 millimeter, an 8 millimeter Woobles crochet hook. What? I didn't even know there was such a thing. So we've got an 8 millimeter crochet hook. And then we've got, so we've got yellow tube yarn, and it's thicker. Charm bracelet. So we will be making a Woobles charm bracelet. So the jingling in there, and I'm not going to show you the other side because it's got the top secret code. So, okay, and it's got more hardware. Oh my goodness. And it's got our, oh, that's a bigger needle. We've got that. And then we've got more hardware right here. So these, I'm assuming, clamp on kind of like, I don't know if any of you have heard of Kumihimo. Oop. And it's got the tube, and that's what the ends will go in. And then you slide this in there and clamp it. And there's 3 tubes, 3 clamps that are all the same. I guess the spare, like the eyeballs. And then you've got the adjuster right here. Yeah, where you pinch down so that you can slide it. and it's metal. So there's the little Pierre, the little red Pierre for McDonald's. And then the little drink cup is right there. So let's see what charms we got. We got a little Wooble turtle that looks like, I can't tell if it's is it a quarter pounder or a cheeseburger? We've got a bunny ice cream cone, and we've got a Pierre the penguin, and it looks like a chicken nugget. Oh my gosh. And I guess there's 9 different charms. So I'm trying to do this. See, there's the little turtle. I can't tell if it's a quarter pounder or a cheeseburger. The bunny ice cream cone, and then Pierre as a chicken nugget. And these have the nice, you know, you could even use these as stitch markers. You could. Because look, they open if you wanted to. That is super cool. So I was not, I had no idea what to expect when it came with, when it said that I had won an accessory surprise. I knew there was a mystery tin. But I had no idea about the charms. And those are just adorable. Especially that chicky nugget. Oh my gosh. So we'll put that back in here so we don't lose it. And we'll put those in here. It says Charm Squad, the Woobles 2025. And the yellow, and it's pretty thick tube yarn too. So it's going to be a chunky kind of, it's probably, I don't know. I'll have to look at it and see how it's made. But an 8mm. Interesting. Woobles. Charmer. Oh, charm. I get it now. The charms. I was wondering why it said charmer. So it looks to be pretty smooth and sturdy. We'll have to try and crochet with it and see. Not bad. So that was the surprise pack for winning tier 4 or earning tier 4 through the McDonald's Monopoly. Not bad for free. Now if I could win in a bonus spin the little Pierre, that would be super awesome. But like I said, if not, we can figure out how to make him. I think he's adorable. So I'm going to put this in there. And I guess with that, I'm going to let you guys go. And if you guys are participating in making any woobles and woobling on Wednesdays with us, in between larger projects, or you're doing any of the freebies that we are looking up for you to make, or if you're doing any of other kits, little Ami kits that you have purchased somewhere else, send us pictures. Let us know what you're working on. We want to see. So go over and see. I'm not sure what time their videos are dropping. Go see Patricia, and also go see Rainy. They are linked in the description box of all these videos, and see what Wooblin Wednesday Wooble they're up to. And yeah, I'm looking forward to watching their videos. I can't remember if I've watched Patricia's yet or not. Maybe. I think she already did it. I think she pre-recorded because she's sick. I'll have to look back. I don't remember. It was a long night. So with that, guys, I'm going to let you go, and I'm gonna say I hope you are woobling or doing some kind of amigurumi little projects as a little palette cleanser to kind of give you that little endorphin rush of completing a project when we all have so many large ones. And woobling is so much fun. um, and if you're interested in the books, all of the information is in the description box on where to find them. And so is the yarn, the Easy Peasy Woobles yarn, and the Woobles like yarn from Hobby Lobby and Michaels. And yeah, jump in and join us. And let us know what you're making. So, with that, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. I love you bunches, and I will see you next week for Wooblin Wednesday, episode 3. So, with that, I'm going to say life is not perfect, so be kind. Try and create something new every day and keep reaching for the stars and your yarn. So, till next time, guys, love you bunches. Bye for now and wooble on.